Hello and welcome to my channel. I just finished writing a pretty long and I'd say difficult essay for my studies, and I thought it would be fun to do a nice relaxing video. So I have something in my hands that I ordered from Monolith, which is the German website that sells a lot of American indie products. And I like to order things from there that usually come with a lot of taxes and import costs. So I picked up the Warms My Blood palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the boring packaging. As some of you may know, this came with a beautiful vampire on the front and that was limited edition packaging. So they did re-release the palette with boring packaging, and it was still available on the website. So I decided to pick it up. It's actually a pretty good value for such a big palette. So this is what it looks like. It opens up like a book, which is kind of cute, I guess. But what I'm really interested in, this is my first time trying this brand. I do try other indie brands every now and then, but not this one yet. And I thought this shade would be such a beautiful inner corner shade. And I also like the fact that there's this white pearly color. And I guess it's not the most springy color palette, but I think I can make it work. So that's the main attraction of today's video. But I guess I still had a couple of things lying around that I either used once or that I didn't use fully or just not on camera yet. So I have the Relove mascara. I have this super cute highlighter from Glamlight. I have some NYX lashes. I got a free blush palette at some point, and I guess I completely forgot to try it, from Makeup Revolution. And we're also giving the Pro Sculpt palette from LA Girl another try. So that's what we're doing today. Subscribe if you like the video. I upload a short pretty much every day and a couple of long form videos every week as well. So please consider subscribing if you like makeup as much as I do. Let's use the Glamlight Icing eyeshadow base. Okay, so what shall we do? I think I want to go in a purple direction because of my purple hat thingy. So I'm going into Resurrect, which is this matte shade. This is always a bit of a gamble, but though pigmented enough, this does not seem to be so pigmented that I had to be more careful. And one of the reasons I really decided to give this another try, or to give this a try after all, I mean, is that it was actually #1 on Heather Austin's list of palettes that she used in 2022. And it ranked pretty high on other lists as well. And it seemed to me like it would be a all-in-one palette, which I also prefer. So this appears to be a really nice, blendable, buildable purple. All right, I'm going to take the white shade, which is called Stone, and I'm going to put that around the edges, just so I get a nice lilac at the edge. So now I'm taking a different brush, and I'm going to do something different on my lower lash line. And I'm going to connect it with a little bit of black. So let me go into Drink, which is this nice red shade, of course. This is a very vibrant red. I love it. Yeah, so you definitely have to build up these shades a little bit, but they get nice and vibrant, and I also believe they blend out really well, so that's okay. So I'm going to take this brush instead. This is more of a precise slanted fluffy brush, and I'm going back into Resurrect because I want to build it up a little bit more. All right, now I have this small fluffy brush, and I'm going into the black, which is called Forsaken. I guess I'm really going to pack this on. I feel like I don't have to be too shy with these shades because they're nice and buildable and they won't get out of hand too fast. This is a really good black. And I'm also taking a little bit of black in the outer corner of the lower lash line, because I explained this in another video, but I do like a different color on my lower lash line, but I don't like there to be a harsh edge in the outer corner. so I connect it with the deepest shade that I use. Alright, this looks a little bit crazy, because I guess I should have been a little bit more careful with the black after all. So I'm going back with this slanted brush and a little bit more of the shade Resurrect. And I'm going over the edges on the top half. And I'm also taking a little bit of the white to tame down the outer edge. So this definitely got a little bit more intense than what I was going for. But I guess that should have been expected with a vampire palette. Now let's get into some fun shimmers. I'm not going to use any glitter glue. I'm just going to see how they perform like this. And I see a couple of shifts in here. I tilt like this, I feel like you can see them too. So let me first take the shade Charms, which is this shifty shade over here. That's beautiful. I'm going to put that on my lid. And I'm not going to bring it up too high. I usually do, but I like the fact that I sort of made a little corner with my black shade. This is absolutely stunning. It's shifty, it's sparkly, it's easy to use. It's actually really sparkly for how smooth it is. Next, I feel like I have to try Awaken, this shade over here, because this looks like it could be anything. It looks a little bit green, but it also just looks white. So I'm going to put this in my inner corner and let's see. Ooh, I think this is a really interesting shade. It almost looks a little bit holographic. I see some pink in there, some red, some green. I think I will do a 3 looks 1 palette video with this one too. And I'm interested to see what this shade would look like all over the lid. That's really pretty. Okay, let's use one more to connect this part, for which I'm going into Human. That's the most beautiful connecting shade. Alright, I'm going to make this look a little prettier. I'm going to add some eyeliner. Oh, we do have a mascara to test, but I'll be right back. I'm going to accentuate the purple using this lilac pastel eyeliner from LA Girl, just in my lower waterline. And for my upper waterline, I'm just using a black pencil from Essence. Alright, I'll clean off my under eyes in a second, but now let's try the mascara. So this is the Relove High Rise Water Resistant Mascara. I just think this packaging is so cute. And I've been trying a couple of new cheap mascaras just to see which one I like best. I really like the Essence one, the Lash Princess, the Catrice Lift Up Power Hold, but I want to try some other ones. So this is what the wand looks like. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of product on there. Keep in mind, my lashes are not the best, not the worst, but also definitely not the best. And also, it is a little bit difficult to see what a mascara looks like whenever you have this deep eyeshadow on. But this really doesn't seem to do much. I don't know if you can see, but the wand is just really cheap. Doesn't really help distribute the product or lift or do anything. And the product itself is just really thin and dry almost. So I don't really feel like this is doing anything. And for how much I have to wiggle and work with it, this wand is just way too big. Now for today this is fine, because I'm going to wear some false lashes anyway, but this is really unfortunate. I can hardly see my lashes. And like I said, they're not that bad. Yeah, really cute packaging, good price. I think it's like $2.50, but unfortunately, this is the fill, I think, for the video. So I'll blend out the edges a little bit more once I've put on all the rest of my makeup. I hope I won't forget. But I think I like this eye look. Let's make it a little bit more dramatic, because it needs it, right? So I have a couple of lashes to try. Actually, I've already tried one of these, but oh well, I haven't tried them on camera yet. So these are the Jumbo lashes from NYX in Heated Up and Bewitched. I've tried the Bewitched ones and they're really interesting because Well, they're nice lashes, but also there are little pink lashes in there, which really goes unnoticed until you pull them out of the packaging. And now I'm wondering if that's the same for the heated up lashes. Oh yeah, these have blue. See, that's what I was expecting. So I think I'll go for the pink ones then. I realized that these are not the kind of lashes you're supposed to wear with a look like this. I'm going to put them on anyway, but I feel like you can hardly see the pink whenever you have this much eyeshadow between. Alright, so I'm going to quickly go off camera, put on these lashes, put on some primer and foundation because I don't have anything new in those categories, and we'll continue this trying new makeup session. So I'm back. I did my brows. I used the brow powder from this duo from Wet n Wild, and I used a little bit of my NYX Control Freak, which really isn't the strongest brow gel, but it's just layer 1. And I used a combination of the NYX Born to Glow foundation in a deep shade and the Fenty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint in a light shade. And together they sort of mix to be an okay shade for me. So that's where we're at. And now it's time for some concealer. And last time when I used this palette, I mainly used the 2 bronzers. But I figured it was kind of also a concealer palette, right? It's actually called a concealer palette. So based on what this looks like, I feel like I would be this shade for concealer and then this shade for corrector. So for today, I'm just going to try it out as a concealer on its own, because I also have the green color corrector that I can still use. We'll do that in another video as well. I'm really stretching out these products, but that's okay, right? So I'm using this 4D concealer brush and I'm going into that light shade with just a regular amount, I hope. That's actually a little bit lighter than I was thinking it would be. So I'm going into the shade next to it because this one looks a little bit pink. So I'm going to go for that one and I'm going to load my brush up a little bit more. Yeah, this is a way better shade for me. Funny, it looks pretty dark in the pan. I don't think I love this as a concealer formula. Of course, it'll also depend on how it wears, but you have to build it up pretty thickly to get some coverage. And I don't like the fact that I can see little points everywhere, which is not something I usually have an issue with this brush. So this is what we're looking like. I do like the shade. I like the fact that I could use an even lighter shade or a slightly deeper shade for whatever place I need it on my face. I just don't really think this is the easiest product to use. I feel like it picks up my foundation underneath. I still don't say run and get this palette. I'd say check out some more reviews maybe. That being said, we're also going to use it for bronzer again, because last time I used this shade as what I thought would be a bronzer, but it was really orange. So this time I'm just going strictly into that deepest shade, because I have a feeling that's going to be better. That is a lot better. It's a little bit deeper, but it's not quite as orange. I actually kind of like that. And I assume that you could mix it with the other shades to get something that's a little bit lighter. So this is what that would look like. I don't hate this. Not nearly as much as I did the first time. So I definitely think that all of these top shades, these 3, plus these 2 over here, are just regular concealer shades or shape shades. Well, I guess just concealer shades because they're all pretty warm, undertoned or pink. And I do believe these are both correctors. And I'm curious to see what this corrector would look like with one of my favorite concealers. And then I think this is the only true bronzer type of product. And I think it works. I think it would work on quite a bit deeper skin tones as well. And I'm quite fair, so the range should be okay. This is the light palette. There are a couple of deeper ones, so I'm okay with the shade. I guess I like the sheen as well. I'm still not 100% on board. I don't think it's the best formula to work with, but I guess I don't hate it anymore. I'm just using a little bit of my Makeup Revolution dual powder, and I think I'm going to set most of my face, because I think the concealer or the foundation shade that I mixed is a little bit deep. So I'm just setting my under eyes with a small brush and around my nose and mouth. And now I'm taking a bigger fluffy brush and I'm just setting the rest of my face as well. I guess I've been struggling a little bit more with my pores over here, or I'm just noticing them more, or the glowy foundations that I use are not my favorites. That's also a possibility, but I've been liking setting my whole face. And this powder is just really good at that. Alright, I guess we already powdered, so cream blush is not really an option anymore. But I don't think the shades that I have would match this anyway. So I have this Blush Lights palette from Makeup Revolution. So this is what the little palette looks like. I like it. It appears that this one is matte, this one is a little bit more satin matte, and these are more shimmery. And since I'm wearing red and purple, I guess I could go either way. But I'm going to see what this one looks like. I'm curious about that one. And there is a mirror in here, so that's also nice. Oh, this is actually a really good color. You know, sometimes I wonder what kind of blush I have to use with a look, whether to go cool toned or warm toned. And I think the answer is often to go neutral. And this would be the perfect blush for that. I don't really love the formula. It feels a little bit dry and like you have to work for it. But it is pigmented enough and not too pigmented, so that's nice. And I do really love the color and the finish. I think this is a really good neutral blush. And you could go in with the more shimmery one on top. I just feel like this one is a little bit more orange. And I feel like it might not match the look as well. I don't know if you can still get this. I got it for free, so I'm assuming they're getting rid of it, but maybe not. I'm quickly touching up my eyes with the eyeshadow palette. Yeah, there's definitely a strong green shift in that Awaken shade. It's a beautiful eyeshadow. Can't wait to put that all over my lid. Yeah, I really like this eye look. It always comes together when you blend it into the rest of your skin. So final touches, we need some highlight. And I thought it would be really cute to finally try this one. So this is from Glamlight. It comes in this little box. Look, it's from the Frosted Flakes collection. So it actually looks like a little bowl of cereal. And it is a loose highlighter, so I'm expecting it to be very potent. So I put some in the cap. It's not as light as I was thinking it would be, but I like the look of it. It looks a little bit like that shade in the Charlotte Tilbury palette, which I also use as a highlighter. So I'm just taking a little bit on my brush. Oh, wow. I don't think I was ready for this. Look at how beaming that is. I thought it would be way more beige, but it's like bright white. Okay, I think I'm going to go over with a little bit of blush, but I guess I do like it. Okay, so this looks absolutely insane, and look, my shirt is completely covered in little glitters now. So let me go back with my powder brush, just to smooth down the edges a little bit. I went way overboard. And now I'm also going back with that blush palette and the same shade, because thank God it's matte. And I'm just going to put that all over at least this part. Yeah, that's a lot better. Also go over my nose. Yeah, so we're definitely highlighting today. Yeah, so I don't think this is my favorite highlighter. At least not with this look. I personally like pretty much the opposite of this one. I like something that's really glittery but doesn't have a lot of base. So I can put it all over my cheeks without it looking gray. And I definitely should not have put it on the other places of my face. If I just kept it on my cheeks and a little bit over here, I think we would have been fine. But now, well, I guess it's just a little bit much. Maybe I'll add a little bit of powder. Yes, that's a little bit better. Yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve there, but I think we fixed it. So finally, I have one more product to try. I'm going to put on my Makeup Revolution lip liner in the shade Brunch. Because the final product we're testing today is also from Makeup Revolution. It's their Pout Balm. And this looks really similar to one that I tried from Wet n Wild, but that's actually one of my favorite lip products. So I wanted to try this one as well. So this is, I've been having this here for a while and forgetting to try it. So I love this packaging. It reminds me a little bit of Rare Beauty. And it's one of those lipsticks that you have to click up and then it doesn't click down anymore. And the shade is a little bit more punchy than the Wet n Wild that I have. A lot more punchy actually. But it's okay. Oh, it's plumping. It's minty. It's a little bit less shiny than the Wet n Wild, I think. And also a little bit thicker, but otherwise quite similar. Also, I think it's a little bit more pigmented. So I think I like the other shade better, but this is a little bit more punchy, a little bit less cool toned, and a little bit deeper. It does do this a little bit. That's also just because I applied so much. Yeah, and definitely there's a minty sensation that I'm not sure is useful. It's okay, it's not too painful, I'm just letting you know. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. I think this was a pretty long one, but we had a lot of hills to climb here. So what do we think of the look? I definitely think we went a little bit overboard with the highlight, and I have expressed my thoughts on the face palette from LA Girl. I'm just not convinced about that one. The blush palette was a surprising favorite, and I do really love the eyeshadow as well. Oh, by the way, these lashes, I actually think you can see the little bit of pink in there. Maybe you should put it on with really deep eyeshadow, just so it pops out as lighter. That's all I want to say right now. Stay tuned for the speed reviews. I do them about once a month, reviewing everything quickly that I tried that month, and I'm sure all of these products will feature there in a couple of weeks. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun watching me struggle a little bit, and subscribe if you liked the video.